Good morning, traders. I'm Devang Mehra from the Financial Analyst, and I welcome you to our YouTube channel. So, in this video, our main motive is agenda is to discuss where are the markets heading in the December series. So, we are currently around 12th of December. It's 11 a.m. in the morning here, a lovely Saturday afternoon. So, if you all have a look at the markets, what they have done, they have completely outperformed. So much money is being pumped in the Indian markets by the FIIs. We saw record FII pumping in money in November, and the December series is getting that euphoria still. Every single day, we got more than 2,000 to 3,000 crores being pumped in by FIIs daily. So, yes, dollar is weak. You can see the dollar currency index. We'll talk about it later. It's becoming weaker, and at the same time, the emerging markets are performing, tremendously. From the November 3 presidential elections in America, markets have gone. Nifty particularly has gone up 2,000 points from 11,600 to 13,600 almost. And Bank Nifty, the most of the FII money has been parked in the private banks. So they are expecting the private banks to outperform in the coming years. So we have seen Bank Nifty from November 3rd, it's gone up from 23,500 all the way to 30,000. That's about 7,000 points on Bank Nifty. This is one hell of a rally I've not seen in the last 3 to 4 years. So now the question is, a lot of people are asking us that where do we expect the markets to go from here? Are we expecting a correction? Can we see a good fall in the markets from this? Because overall the markets are overbought. And we did publish an article on our Instagram that if you look at the data in America, the cyclically adjusted price earning ratio, it is much higher than it was even during the dot-com bubble. So in America, the cyclically adjusted, the CAPE as we call it, the PE ratio is about 16. That is the average, but currently it's around 30 to 33, which tells us that stock markets valuations have reached the highest point since the 1929 crash and even the dot-com bubble earlier in 2000s. So these are a couple of things. Also, the Nifty PE is around 36, 37 as I speak. And even your indicators like RSI, etc., are quite extended. So now the question in now what we will be answering is what to expect in the markets going forward. Before I come to that, first of all, today morning at around 8 o'clock, a huge landmark development has come in. It's again posted on our Instagram page that Pfizer has finally, the vaccine has been finally authorized by the US FDA for emergency use. That's a big landmark development in COVID-19 fight. And this is going to be a huge plus sign in the financial markets. So let's see how the global markets will be reacting to this. But I believe that Pfizer is probably going to be hitting the upper circuit on Monday when the markets are opening. It's a very big judgment. So you have to go and read about this in detail. I will read out some important points that we have got. I have some sourced information about Biden, what he was discussing earlier yesterday on Friday night in India. So, FDA head, by the way, yesterday told that she would quit if the vaccine was not approved. So it was expected to be approved today, and it has finally been approved. That's a very big judgment. And Biden has been, telling the American economy that, America is in the teeth of coronavirus crisis. And I quote, he said that presidential leadership is now needed on coronavirus crisis. And he also said, he further added that Americans should have confidence in the vaccine decision, and state and local governments do need stimulus aid. So the first step is that the vaccine has been cleared. Now it's the law of the land, so it will be well accepted by all the other countries because USFDA has approved. Now the second thing in question is what is the situation of the American stimulus? That is something that people are expecting for quite some time because majority of the markets in India things have become better, but America and Europe have been affected quite vigorously by the virus. And we posted some very important updates on our TFA daily channel yesterday, which would have been clear if you are in this forum. You probably already know this, but yesterday night at 11 o'clock, we posted some important updates coming in by the World Health Organization. And Tedros said that number of weekly COVID-19 deaths have now increased 60%, majorly in America and Europe. So the vaccine coming in is a big step, but now what America needs, what the world needs is some more fiscal stimulus coming in to help the economies come out of this. That is something we have to track, and the developments are going on in both the parties, Congress and uh, Democrats and Republicans, sorry, finalizing what should be done in that aspect. But my aim is now to understand where the financial markets can go. So let's first understand what the Dow Jones Industrial Average is doing. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average is, I've drawn this a rising wedge kind of formation. I want you all to copy this pattern. As long as the Dow Jones on the daily chart is within this wedge, things are okay. There's a good positive sentiment coming in and things are okay. So please don't question yourself that markets are extended and they will fall down, because markets really don't listen to you and me. They have their own psychology, they have their own way of doing things, and they will not give you any explanations. So if Dow Jones starts to close below this, that would be a sign that the trend is about to bend. So if the trend is not bending in America, don't expect the trend to bend in India. Number two, the S&P 500. Yes, the S&P 500, the RSI is around 60. It has cooled off a little bit from the highs, and it has broken that wedge pattern. So that is the reason we saw some weakness in America in the last two sessions. But the only hope in America now would be this 20 moving average that you can see. It currently stands at 3636. That's the 20 moving average on the S&P. And you all are aware that if whatever the American markets and European markets do, even the Indian markets will be following that if there is no important announcement in India. So we will follow and be a dummy to the global markets in the long run. So currently, American markets are doing okay. The RSI above 50, I imagine, is good. It's a bullish signal, but it's the pressure is becoming weak because we have seen quite a good rally in the global markets. So if this 3636 level is maintained on the S&P, things are okay, and we will remain in a buy on dip market. A similar structure in Nasdaq also. You can see the wedge has been broken. That is why we saw some weakness. But due to the positive sentiment coming in yesterday, there has been 20 ms support again, just like your S&P charts. So this level is very important, and this level comes up to 12,250. So 3636 on S&P and 12,250 levels are very important. If they are maintained, you are in buy on dip structure in the global markets. Talking about the S&P VIX. So S&P VIX was up about 10%, something I haven't seen in a very long time. So I think about a 1 month high, but it has cooled off because of that sentiment coming in, as I've been talking about. So what can you expect? See, the number in S&P is very simple. If S&P 500 VIX is below 30, this level is considered as a threshold, a very important threshold for the American markets. Any VIX below 30 is okay. It's a healthy correction in the market. But if the S&P VIX starts to go above 30, that is something you have to keep an eye on, because a VIX above 30, a volatility index above 30, will mean that markets can negatively correct. And let's talk about America. Let's talk about Europe. So UK is doing fairly okay as compared to the other markets. You are quite far away from the 20 moving average. So things are okay. So if UK starts to trade above the highs that it has made, things will become quite bullish in Europe. But we did see some correction in Europe. The reason is because the German economy minister, it was posted on our WhatsApp also. The German economy minister has given an indication that the lockdown in Germany will be extended further because things are not getting better. So still the vaccine is out. That is a positive, but still things are not very good. And before I forget, another very important update is, I got it early in the morning that it's again sourced information by TFA. I will again give you a background of what it is. So we got an information that, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which are in focus, they are unlikely to be able to supply India with volumes until second half of 2021. So the problem that I'm seeing is vaccine is out. That's amazing. Now Pfizer is out. So in just a couple of weeks, I would believe Moderna's vaccine also will be out. Then your AstraZeneca, Oxford will also be out. So yeah, it's going to get better. Even in India, Sputnik and all of these things will be doing BioNTech. They will be doing well. But the problem is vaccine getting it out is fine. But how do you deliver that vaccine to the millions and billions of people all over the world? That's a problem. So what we are suggesting in our communities is also to be bullish on your logistics stocks and your cold chain stocks. That is something very important. So we shared a report a couple of days back, and I've reshared the report. It's by Bank of America Securities. So you have to join our TFA forum to understand that. So, and they have clearly identified that, getting your vaccines is fine, but how do you deliver that vaccines to the end consumer? That's the main problem. And India, they currently don't have that so much infrastructure. So getting the vaccine out to so many people, you will need good cold chain facilities. You will need good logistics. Cold chain, because the vaccine has to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius, I believe. So these things are there. And there are good couple of names that are available in the cold chain and logistics. So we have recommended that. And I want to show you a trade that we took in our discussion forum. So we have a discussion forum which is exclusive to people who are getting mentored by us. And I want to show you a trade we took on Snowman Logistics. And right, I'm going to show you the chart, what we did on Snowman. This is yesterday, Friday, 9:15. So what we did is at 11, I'll just show you the trade that we took in the group. So we are quite active in identifying which stocks can be, performing well in the couple of days, and we are very active in helping that. So this is one trade that we had taken. We asked our members to take this trade of Snowman, and we took this trade at 11:18 p.m. So we asked everyone to take a AMO. So I took about 3,000 shares of Snowman Logistics at 2,000 and 1,000. And Snowman Logistics, if you see the charts, Snowman Logistics, it went up about 15% intraday. So we took a trade at 61 at AMO, and it went to around 70.65 at the same day. So we are identifying these stocks, and I'm quite bullish on this company. I will be analyzing all these sectors in detail by today or by tomorrow, and I'll upload the video on YouTube. But my main question is that if Pfizer vaccine or any vaccine is going to get to the public, these are the companies that can be multi-baggers. So all the logistic companies and cold chain companies have to be kept in your watch list for the next couple of days. Let's talk about Nifty now. By the way, DAX has not done well yesterday. The reason is because of the German lockdown. I've already told you that. So if DAX starts to trade below this lower Bollinger Band, things will be a little bit bearish. Talking about the Indian markets now, that is something which is important. See, Indian markets have done extremely well. Number one, you are extended on RSI, and number two, you are quite far away from the moving average. So in the long run, as you all know it, you have to come and take a support at this 20 MA. So today or tomorrow or next week, you will have to come and correct till here. This will be considered as healthy correction. But currently, there is no sign of correction. So I don't want you to just try to predict a top or bottom in the market. That is something I'm not recommending you. The simple reason is, imagine, take this example. You are sitting in a yacht and the wind is guiding you in a direction. So you go with that wind rather than going against the wind. If everyone is sailing on the same boat, which is being bullish, you have to expect to be in that same direction unless until you hit a stop loss and you are proved wrong. That's my simple idea that I want to give you about the markets. And every single day, as I told you earlier, FIs are pumping huge money into the markets. So every day is a trend now at 2 o'clock or 2:15. There's a huge buying that is coming in, which is literally obliterating any kind of selling that happens. So you can see every day at 2 o'clock, 2:15, huge buying volumes are coming in day in after day in for the last 10 days. So my simple view on the Nifty market is very simple. There is a very simple support at 13,400. As long as this level is maintained in India, you have to be a buyer on dip. Please understand, this is very important. It is also possible that this becomes the intermediary bottom and markets never touch that. That is also possible. So as long as 13,400 is not broken and closed, closing is important. You have to be a buyer on dip. But let's say in the next week, if you are closing below this, yes, we will be witnessing some correction. It is possible till even 13,000 levels. So we will see about that when that happens. But currently, you can see every single day, this is acting as your support. Even when the markets, plunged yesterday because of the German lockdown news, markets fell 150 points from the highs, but took support here, formed a hammer and rose up. That is something I'm concerned about. At the same time, on the upper end, you have this 13,550 to 580 levels. As long as this is maintained, we are in a range. So on Monday, it becomes very important where the markets open now. So let's say the markets want to go down. If the markets want to go down, they will be opening in this range. Understand something. Markets are not going to open here and then fall all the way down. That is not logical. Markets, yes, there is positive news, but markets, discount everything and they move in their own way. So if markets want to go down on Monday, they will be opening somewhere close to 450, and then they can easily fall down and break that 400. That is one signal. What happens if the markets open flat? If the markets are opening flat, then obviously there has been positive momentum. Obviously, the positive news has come into the market. It will try to come, hit the resistance, and try to build up over here and then break out. That's another possibility. But if the markets are opening towards the upper end of the range or with a gap up, then that would be a signal that they want to break out. And if they are opening at 550 levels, it will just require a 10-20 point push to break out to all-time highs. So then you have to expect a movement on the upside. So I've given you all three ways. The FIDI data that is coming in is a little bit mixed today. Yes, there is some kind of bearish sentiment also by the FIIs, but every day, no matter what, there is buying happening. So we need to consider that also. So just make sure where the market opens. As long as this range is maintained, I will ask you to be stock specific and don't trade the index. Of course, you can do your scalping in the markets, but I'm here to give you an overall view of the market. So whenever either of the ranges are broken, you have to be good longs or shorts in that direction. Same is the example of Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty, just like Nifty, it's got wonderful inflows by the FIs. The MSCI rebalancing that happened, saw huge inflows in Kotak and all, and you saw Kotak at good lifetime highs. So same is the case that's happening now. FIs are extremely bullish on private banks. I think 2/3 of their inflows that has come last month is in your private banks and your couple of public banks, and followed by pharma, etc. So the banking sector is doing good. Please do not form an opinion things are overvalued. I just want to give you again an opinion. Just like Nifty, even Bank Nifty has been forming two dojis time after time. You have got two dojis together. And the rule of doji is, yes, there is a pause in trend because you got a wonderful rally. But the rule of doji is whichever side the doji is broken, the movement will continue with a good force in that direction. If I show you the internals, things will become quite clear to you. On the internals, right, just let me zoom out the chart. Yeah. So on the internals, I have drawn out a range. 30,800 is a very, very important resistance. And for a couple of days now, it has been respecting. So if the markets want to go higher on Monday, they will be opening in the upper end of the spectrum so that they can easily boost up. If they are opening with a gap up even above 3,800, then I would say try to wait for a 15-minute candle closing. Try to wait for a retest or a gap filling, then try to take a trade. Because whenever there is a gap up, we would like to reduce our quantity and trade. So ideal would be flat. That's the best idea, or somewhere in the upper end of the range so that you can easily break out. If markets want to go down, they will be opening in the little bit lower end of the range because it becomes easier for the markets to push down. And a couple of points have been lost in a gap. But forgetting about that, there is some important levels I want to give you. 3,800 is strong. At the same time, we have some support at 30,200. So you can expect markets to move between this 600 point range that is formed. But if 30,200 is broken, yes, if you are a risky trader, you can take short in the market and you have an immediate target of 30,000. But a very pivotal level is 30,000. If you see this level time after time, from 1st of December 2020, it has been holding 30,000 level. And this level is a bit of a 70-80 point level. So basically from 29,940 to 30,000. This is one level you have to keep in your mind. If you are shorting the market, try to book some profit here. But 30,000, as long I would say as it is maintained, things are okay in Bank Nifty. If 30,000 is broken, yes, you can expect a good 1,500, 2,000 point fall also. So these are 2-3 levels I wanted to make clear before you start trading on Monday. Over this weekend, we will upload sectoral videos so you can understand how the stocks are moving and what stocks you can trade now going forward. Finally, just to give you a word of touch on dollar index. See, dollar index it has been quite weak. I'll just zoom out the chart. Things are very simple. If there's a good sentiment in the markets, if for example in coronavirus things were not good, so people would like to park their money in the US Treasury bills rather than the risky assets like emerging markets. Currently, the sentiment is quite positive. So what people, the big institutions are doing is they are parking their money with emerging markets. That is why we've seen huge inflows coming into emerging markets. Now the problem is dollar goes down, Indian markets, emerging markets go up. That's for sure. But you have seen that dollar now has been consolidating at this 90.5 region. So if dollar has found a support, that would mean some kind of correction can be on the cards. Also, you have seen that dollar has gone, the RSI from the oversold has tried to gone into the normal trading zone. So the question is, I've drawn this trend line. If this trend line is broken, basically if the levels of 91.2 are broken and closed above this, some kind of correction can come till the 20 MA in India. And that is something I want you to focus on. If markets want to go higher, if dollar basically starts to trade below 90.4 and close below this trend line, that will be a signal markets really want to go to 14,000 levels, because below this level there is actually no support till 89, 88 levels. So this is a very, very important level which I want you all to understand. So keep this in your mind, and we'll be back today and tomorrow with good content about sectoral analysis. And if anything is there, message us on Instagram or WhatsApp us at 8080343031. You can join our TFA Daily Forum. It's about 360 rupees for a year only. And you can again message us or Instagram us and we'll get in touch with you. Thank you all for watching. I hope you like this video. Do subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and do comment. Thank you all.